This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan. With your host, Bradley Summers. And get the latest from Alpena Community College with ACC President Dr. Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning, welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Bradley Summers, and today my first guest is Emmy LaFleche from the Boys and Girls Club of Alpena. Hi, Emmy.
Hi, Mr. Brad.
How are you doing, Miss Emmy?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Well, thank you for joining us today.
No problem.
I know, especially this time of year, I know the Boys and Girls Club has a lot of things going on. You're currently closed right now for 2 weeks.
Yes, for staff training, so then we can open on June 12th.
So what kind of things do you train on during this the low period here before the big summer program starts?
Yeah. Well, I think first and foremost, we do a lot of safety trainings, how to deal with children, different circumstances. You know, there's some more boring ones, just like workplace stuff. But I think for the most part, dealing with the children and learning how to safely you know, get the behaviors you would like to see, how to execute programs and get outcomes you would like to see, things of that nature. So programming is a whole nother huge side of it that we're working on currently.
Well, and I know one of the important aspects too is learning how to work as a team.
Yes.
Especially since I know there's, you know, we've hired, you know, 3 or 4 new people for the summer.
Yes.
To help out, you know, which are aspiring social workers, aspiring teachers, new college graduates looking to get their experience in the youth services field. Talk about how important it is to work as a team when you're working with the next generation of leaders.
Oh man, so you know, they reflect so much of what they see. So they see adults talking and you know, having positive interactions, and they're just little sponges and suck it right up and want to mirror that. And it's great because then that's, you know, that's how they want to treat each other, you know, so their eyes are on you all the time. But I think that people that are in this field are in it for a reason. And I think that's true to say about our team right now, is that every single one of them wants to be there, and we all have the same vision and just want our youth to grow up and be successful in our town.
You know, and I know it's important to know the strengths and weaknesses of everybody so that everybody can find their place, understand their worth within the organization, and be able to, you know, show, like you said, all of those important aspects that we mirror to these young people. You know, we want to show them how to be a positive role model, and how to, you know, do basic things and receive resources. And it starts with a smile.
Yeah.
Right?
And giving them these opportunities and stuff, which I think is right up our alley. So I think that that's I mean, you nailed it. You know, that is, it starts with us, and then, you know, it becomes infectious. And
yeah, absolutely. It's so, you know, with the summer programming coming on, talk about a little bit about some of the program offerings that the club has this summer. So
we have a handful of, we're kind of calling them extracurricular programs. So they're programs that run more like field trips that are outside of club, in addition to a slew of programs happening inside the club. So some of our offerings is our STARS program, where they are teaching our kids, our younger members, it's like extra reading. We also have our bowling, where the kids get to go once a week to the bowling alley. We have a partnership there. We also will be going to the Plaza Pool once a week, which is so, you know, so necessary where we live, teaching these kids how to swim. Also with Brush Up and Art in the Loft, so we can keep educating our youth on the arts. So those are our outside of our building programs. In addition to our programs in-house, where we're doing photo, we're doing Ultimate Journey, which is all about learning about outside. We have Mighty Michigan, which is learning deeply about where we are and where most of us come from. We also have our gym programming where we are specializing with coaches in the area, our track program. We will be doing yoga, so with lots of physical education there, in addition to summer brain gain, you know, just teasing these kids and getting them to learn in different ways. And you know, we have our story time, you know, and just keeping these kids educated and engaged throughout this summer, you know, and keeping them doing these positive things that they choose and want to do.
Well, I give you kudos and the team, because these partnerships and collaborations are expounding what these young people may realize that they have as resources in the community.
Yes.
Like the STARS program with the AMA ESD, and with the bowling alley and the plaza pool and Art in the Loft and Brush Up, and you know, all these wonderful collaborations. It goes just to help these young people.
Right, and make these relationships and these connections, and maybe they find out that's what they want to do with their future, and just, you know, building them up. Like, you can do anything you want to do and be anybody you want to be, so if we can be a stepping stone on their journey, you know, that's what we're here for.
Well, and I understand too that the summer program is going to be at the new facility at 801 West Miller.
So it's a soft opening on June 12th, but we will be having orientation on the 8th and the 9th for members that have signed up. And they can sign up on Facebook, or they can come into our old facility and grab a paper copy if they prefer it that way, or even just calling and we can get it to them in, you know, at any capacity. But yes, we are opening softly for our members on June 12th. From 12 to 6, Monday through Friday, all 10 weeks of summer. It is so exciting to be able to say that. I'm sure that that is an understatement, but yes, we will be there at our new facility at 801 River. And
then working with all of you too, you know, I know that there's the huge need of seeing, there's a need for more program space, and the increased number of attendance that we've seen at the organization over the past 5 years, even through COVID, you know, we've seen increases in services and needs in the community for the Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
So I know that's a huge reason as to why this new building has to happen right now.
Oh yeah, we're busting at the seams. I don't think, you know, we can't capacitate for the need anymore where we have been. So. No, you're absolutely right. We're far exceeded this building's limitations. So it's good to hear that we will be growing and expanding in this new facility.
There will be a grand opening for the community at some point at a later date once a few things are completed. But thank you so much for being here today, you know, and your wonderful smile. You know, it's one of the first things that kids see every day when they come to the club, and it's a big testament as to why we see so many kids coming every day. So thank you for what you do, and of course, thank you to the team. And it's an absolute privilege to be able to work with you.
And you as well.
And good luck this summer.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for the first segment. Stay tuned after the break for Annie Hepburn from the Alpena Senior Citizen Center. Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Annie Hepburn from the Alpena Senior Citizen Center. Hey, Annie.
Hey, Brad, how are you?
Good. How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Yeah. What beautiful weather we're having out there.
I know. It's something I think we can all get used to.
Yeah.
Sometimes we want to not work in our building, because we want to be outside.
As long as we don't hear that word frost again.
Right.
So today you wanted to talk about some of an upcoming event that you have that supports your Alzheimer's program, which is the Longest Day Paint the Town Purple.
Yeah, so what that is we're really collaborating with many vendors in our area and also with the Alzheimer's Association. So it's really a fundraiser for the Alzheimer's Association, but we're collaborating with them because the Alzheimer's Association does not have an office here in Alpena, but they have resources. So it's important that our community knows that there are resources on alz.org, or you can come to the Senior Center and work with us, and we can link you to those resources. That event is an all-day event on Thursday, June 29th at the Alpena Senior Center. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it will be done about 7 p.m. So throughout the day, we're going to have in the morning, starting some with Art in the Loft with Justin. We're going to have some paintings, word paintings, rock paintings. Those will be a $5 donation, and that's to help the fundraiser. And then we're going to go into lunch and some presentations from the Alzheimer's Association, some vendors that will be set up throughout our area, like with NEMSCA, the hospital, the senior center will be there. I'm still working on more vendors to come to that event. And then to finalize it, in the evening, we'll have more presentations, and Karen Bennett will be talking about long-term planning, what you should do. She's a local attorney that she'll be educating whoever's there for that presentation on long-term planning, estate planning, the do's and don'ts.
Well, yeah, and that's such a wonderful aspect of things too that most people might not think about is, you know, the law side of things and the estate planning and things where you may need a lawyer to get involved to help understand, you know, where the assets are, where they're going, and you know, it's a terrible reason to have that, but at the same time, it's smart, right? It's
absolutely smart, and the thing is, Brad, though, is estate planning, you can never do it too early. So even us, we could be estate planning for our family. It's never too early to do that, and I think a lot of people don't even have power of attorneys for health care or finances. Even senior citizens I know have not prepared for that. And it's really important that you meet with somebody to discuss that, because there comes a time when you can't do that because maybe you're in a facility, or you know, or you pass away quickly, and then all the things that you need in order are not in order. So it's important for all those resources that day for people dealing with dementia, that they come, and you don't have to stay all day, but I think there's a lot of resources that day and awareness, and we will celebrate the longest day, which is the summer solstice. That's the purpose of the longest day for the Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah, what a great idea. Well, and to register for that, they could call you directly?
They can at 989-356-3585, or I believe there's, they can call NEMSCA at 989-358-4616 and talk to Brooke Mainville.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so Brooke's a big part of this as well. NEMSCA will be there as a vendor, but they are also one of the sponsors for the event.
Well, and NEMSCA has been, you know, they have so much expertise and wisdom, and you know, and they partner with so many agencies. You know, it's really awesome to see that they're partnering with you on this, and you know, you're working collaboratively to, you know, help benefit the people of our community.
Absolutely, we're all here for the same mission, and we can't all do it alone, so we need to partner up and do it together.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And there was another program that you wanted to talk about as well.
So one of the other programs that we do, we meet monthly, it's called You Are Not Alone. It is our dementia program as well that we do at the Senior Center. That program offers support to caregivers. We also do have individuals that have or are living with dementia that come, and we've kind of started now where we divide them up. So I will take a group, the caregivers, yeah. BJ will take the people living with dementia and go into another room, and so we can kind of offer that support to the caregivers, but also offer the support to the people living with dementia. The real message here is, even though you have dementia, your life has not ended. Yeah. You have a great quality of life, and we just need to teach people or work with people that are living with it how they can continue life, but also the caregivers, how their life is changing, but you can still have a great life and a quality of life. So You Are Not Alone, we do presentations and we do support. And that meets monthly, the first and the third Thursday from 4 until 5. I'll get it straight.
No, you're fine.
At the Senior Center. This month it'll be the first Thursday and June 29th because of our big event.
Excellent, and it just goes to show that because of your advocating in the community for these resources and reaching out and educating so many other people, to hear that you have, you know, half a group you're taking here and another group that you're taking, you know, we had talked about this almost a year ago where, you know, it was a smaller number of people that were just, you know, that were participating, and now it sounds like a lot more people are understanding that this is a huge resource that you're providing and taking a lot more advantage of it.
Yes, and we are just trying new programs. We're here to offer resources and be advocates for people. It's a tough journey, but they don't have to be alone, and just come and talk to us. So that's our biggest thing.
What is the biggest fundamental difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
So basically, it's the way your brain changes. Really, dementia is under the umbrella. And Alzheimer's is under the umbrella of dementia.
Okay.
So there's hundreds of different types of dementia. And that is my biggest thing, is when somebody gets diagnosed, what causes that? There's a reason. You don't just get dementia because you're getting older. That is a myth. So there's a lot of different resources on the difference of that. But ultimately, there is no cure. There's treatment, no cure. And we have to learn how to live our best lives with it. And I'm passionate because of just my work plate, where I've always worked with elderly and senior citizens, but I just have a passion for that. I don't want anybody to be alone, and dementia touches my heart in many different ways.
Well, I'm a very lucky person who gets to have a lot of communication and conversations with you, and I know that you have that passion, and your team has that passion.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much. I can't believe it's already, our 8-minute segment's already done, but thank you again for being on the show, my friend, and you know, being here to talk about all the important things that you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us as we continue to endeavor the road of the nonprofits in our community and meet local community leaders that do such wonderful things. Stay tuned after the break for the ACC segment.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Dr. Don McMaster, president of Alpena Community College. I'd like to share some thoughts with you this morning about community colleges in Michigan and Alpena Community College specifically. Partially in response to a more recent editorial that appeared in the Detroit News yesterday. That would have been Thursday morning. And it's entitled, "Community Colleges Not Doing the Job." So there's a fair number of these articles that are appearing in media. They're generally pretty unspecific and fairly uninformed, at least as it relates to ACC. But Nolan Finley is the editorial writer for the Detroit News. He's a good writer, and he's a community college grad. So the first 6 paragraphs of his column talk about the immense gratitude he feels for the Lifeline Schoolcraft. That was a community college he attended, tossed me all those decades ago. But nonetheless, he concludes community colleges aren't working well in Michigan. The data set he uses is really been pulled together by a group called Business Leaders for Michigan. And they are a group of business leaders and kind of thought influencers and who are looking at the future of Michigan. The transition from the automotive industry to EVs and batteries and all that, how that's going to happen. The desire for the state to become a leader in semiconductor production, things that are more, I guess, from their standpoint, higher tech, higher wage, and require more training and more involvement from community colleges. So Mr. Finley says over the past 10 years, enrollment in Michigan community colleges has plunged 56%. This is according to the Business Leaders for Michigan. The 6-year completion rate for community colleges in the state is just 25%, making it 48th nationally. And the state ranks 49th in per capita enrollment in Michigan community colleges. And then he goes on to say Michigan would be a more competitive state in economic development. Actually, he's quoting the report. and would help our residents be more successful in life and would help our companies be more vibrant with a better network of two-year schools. And so it is true statewide that enrollment in community colleges has plunged. Enrollment at ACC has remained stable. I think there's, in fact, this spring semester, the semester that began in January and ended at commencement a couple weeks back, we had a 12% growth in enrollment in headcount and almost 8% in credit hours. This was first in the state in the headcount area by a substantial amount, and first or second in the state in credit hours. These are the things that someone pays for from ACC. But I think the rest of the state is now dealing and struggling to deal with the issue that Northeast Michigan has dealt with for 45 or 50 years, and that is population decline. And there's two factors to that. One is there's fewer people incrementally, but probably more so there's fewer young people. There's maybe more an aging population and much fewer college-age people. Of course, community colleges attract not just 18 and 19-year-olds, but that's a big swath of who we serve. So the rest of the state is now encountering something that we've been grappling with for decades, and it's a sobering demographic. So how to fix that? Well, perform better is one, and Mr. Finley is talking about the community colleges in aggregate, but ACC, in addition to being first in the state in enrollment growth, we were first in the state in graduation rate. This is significant, both of those are. So the most recent data that we can obtain on that had us #1 in graduation rate among the 28 or 27 other community colleges and the three tribal schools. So we were at 42%. So this would be measuring the first-time, full-time degree-seeking students who graduate within 150% of the time they start. So if they're an associate degree seeker, that's usually 4 semesters. If they get done in 6, they would be successful and would count toward a good graduation rate metric. So 42% is the highest ACC has ever had, at least in terms of data going back to 2006. So ACC was at 42%. Glen Oaks, which is down by the Indiana border, was at 40. Gogebic, which is way up in the UP, at 37. Badenoch, 33. So these are, I would suppose, not surprisingly, small rural schools that are not near universities. That's part of the reason why the numbers are good. But a number of the larger schools, Lansing 17%, Jackson 15%, Mott 15%, Oakland, which is in a very prosperous area, only 15%. Now, an explanation there might be that students don't go don't complete. They may do 3 semesters and transfer. So the transfer piece is a variable that's significant. Henry Ford in Dearborn, 10%. Mid-Michigan, which serves Mount Pleasant and has their main campus in Harrison, 10%. Kirtland, our nearest neighbor, 25%. So we're at 42%. So it's pretty significant. And as I said, it's the first time, it's the best score we've ever had. In just the last data set, in terms of the transfer piece that I talked about, that is captured in state data. It's called CEPI. And we're #1 in that as well. And this goes out over 6 years. So all community colleges, success rates 25%, 36, 43, 47, 49%. 6%. Ours in that 5-year cycle, 36, 52, 55, 57, and 58. So I guess I would say don't believe everything you read. And keep supporting Alpena Community College. We appreciate it, and we'll keep leaning into making opportunities for folks, students, families, employers in Northeast Michigan. Thank you. See you again next week.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts Bradley Summers and Dr. Don McMaster. For a list of community events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at WVKB11.com and click on our community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production. All rights reserved.